Professor Kalemoth had reviewed countless student projects across 3 centuries, but nothing prepared him for the peculiar combination of brilliance and apparent failure represented by David Chen's submission to the Galactic Engineering Collective. The assignment was straightforward: design a solution to the resource scarcity problem facing the outer territories. Every student from every civilization received identical parameters. The evaluation criteria were objective, mathematical, and immutable. There was no room for interpretation. David's solution broke every rule. The traditional approach, the one every other student had submitted, involved complex computational models, optimized extraction algorithms, and minimal environmental impact calculations. These solutions were elegant, efficient, and completely impractical for implementation. They assumed ideal conditions that would never exist in reality. David's solution was messy. It involved human compromise, community participation, and acceptance of imperfection. It included redundancy, considered wasteful by galactic standards. It incorporated elements the evaluation board called unnecessary social considerations. It was, by every objective measure, inefficient. The board gave him an F. David requested a hearing before the full collective. He arrived in the chamber where representatives from 1,000 civilizations had gathered to hear his appeal. He looked absurdly small against the assembled aliens, many of whom towered over him or existed as pure energy. "Your solution is mathematically inferior," the board spokesperson stated flatly. "It contains redundancies, inefficiencies, and unquantifiable social variables. By every measurable standard, it fails." David took a breath. Every measurable standard was designed by civilizations that have never faced real resource scarcity, he said calmly. "Your species evolved in abundance or created artificial abundance through technology. You've never had to make decisions where perfection wasn't an option." He activated his presentation. Images flooded the chamber: Earth's history, humanity's struggles, moments when perfect solutions didn't exist and survival required accepting imperfection. "Humanity lived on a world where we never had enough," David explained. "We developed agriculture in marginal lands. We built cities where resources were stretched thin. We created systems designed to fail gracefully rather than catastrophically. We learned redundancy isn't waste, it's insurance against the reality that nothing works perfectly." The board listened in uncomfortable silence. "Your solution assumes perfect distribution networks, stable governments, and cooperative populations," David continued. "My solution assumes corruption, infrastructure failure, political conflict, and human selfishness. Because those things are real. Your algorithms optimize for impossible conditions. Mine optimize for actual conditions." He displayed a comparative analysis. His solution, when implemented in realistic scenarios with inevitable failures and inefficiencies, actually produced superior outcomes to the board's elegant models. Not by much, but measurably better. "The difference," David said, "is that you're designing for perfection. I'm designing for survival." The chamber erupted in discussion. Centuries of established grading criteria suddenly seemed inadequate. The board had been evaluating solutions on a metric that had nothing to do with actual implementation success. Over the following weeks, the Galactic Engineering Collective underwent a fundamental transformation. They created new evaluation categories: robustness, resilience, practical adaptability. They incorporated failure mode analysis into every curriculum. They brought in human advisors to teach what they called messy systems thinking. David's F became a landmark decision. Universities across the galaxy began questioning whether their evaluation systems actually measured what they purported to measure. Did an elegant solution that couldn't survive real-world conditions deserve a higher grade than an inelegant solution that actually worked? The answer, increasingly, was no. By the end of the academic year, the grading system had been completely redesigned. Perfection was no longer the standard. Functionality was. Resilience mattered more than efficiency. A solution that worked 90% of the time under difficult conditions rated higher than one that worked perfectly only under ideal circumstances. David graduated with honors, though the honors system itself had been restructured to reward practical impact rather than theoretical excellence. At the graduation ceremony, the board spokesperson addressed the collective of students. "We were wrong to measure you by metrics designed for comfortable civilizations. We overlooked that the greatest engineering often comes not from those with the luxury of pursuing perfection, but from those forced to embrace practical excellence." David Chen stood amid representatives from 1,000 worlds, most of them now understanding something humanity had always known: sometimes the best solution isn't the most elegant one. It's the one that survives contact with reality. And that lesson, born from an F that changed everything, would reshape how the galaxy approached every challenge ahead.